Cowboys win a close battle in SoFi. Jalen Hurts, 3 picks, lead the Eagles to their first loss. Browns made the 49ers struggle. The Lions are 5-1, people. 5-1. And the Bills struggle versus the Giants, but still pull out the victory. Episode 7 starts now. Welcome, beautiful people, to episode 7 of the Two Dudes podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Freak.
And I'm Babs. Week 6 is in the books. So let's talk about it.
All right, Babs. Crazy week 6. Two of the top teams in the NFC took their first loss. We're going to start with last night's game. And we'll keep it fairly short with each of these games that we talk about. Cowboys.
That's because we already talked about them once.
They don't even know that. Shush. The Cowboys win a close fight in SoFi against the Chargers, 20-17. Dak played well. No turnovers.
I think it was the best game that I've seen from Dak in a while.
Yes.
I mean,
it was his best game all year.
If he could stay doing where he's moving and being able to run if he wants. I mean, ran for 40 yards. I mean, he just had the defense guessing, which was, it was prime. He just played good.
Right. It was hands down a must win for Dallas in my book. I think you would agree. A lot of people talking about that. This was on Dak and the defense. I think defense played okay throughout most of the game. They didn't give up huge plays or a ton of yards, especially in the running part aspect of the Chargers offense. I enjoyed that. They didn't really give up too many big run plays. They came alive. That final drive was,
and it wasn't one team playing better. They both played really good.
Right. This came down to execution.
It was probably one of my favorite games we've watched all season.
It was back and forth. I got heated at the very beginning because we had our slow start. Like, we can't start slow. We start slow, that can lead to bad things against really good teams, but we won by 3. It's a good way to go into the bye week with some positive momentum in the right direction. We've got the Rams coming off the bye week. So overall, good win.
Both teams, a really good game though.
Both teams played really well.
And I think Dak played phenomenal.
Oh, Dak, that was his best game he's played so far this year. Grant, despite the Jets game.
It looked like he was having fun out there playing.
Yeah, he enjoyed himself. It was a good game, despite the all the penalties we had. Need to clean that up. But
both sides had a lot of penalties.
A lot of mental mistakes, but Dallas has the bye week to work that out and get ready for the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting. I think we have the Rams at home, and then we go to the Eagles. So with the Eagles being brought up, we'll go ahead and talk about their game. The Eagles lose a close battle to the Jets, 14-20. Hurts throws 3 interceptions, and then they lost a fumble.
Jalen Hurts just played like trash. I mean,
he's not playing well.
3 picks. His picks weren't even excusable. Like, they were just, he basically threw them right to the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they weren't even like, it's bad.
It was it was hands down probably their worst game all year, of course, and it's their loss. Um, but I mean, there's still a lot of question marks about this Eagles team. They're not the same team that they were last year.
And I've
These
been saying it since day one of the season is I don't think the Eagles are as good as everybody thinks they are.
I mean, of course, I'm going to agree because I'm a Cowboys fan and I love to hear that.
I don't know.
But
I like
but I
Jalen
mean,
Hurts.
I
I think he's a
also
good quarterback, but I just don't think Philly's as good as everybody thinks they are.
I mean, so far this season's kind of shown what you're saying. It's just they found a way to win those first 5 games. And all of those games really haven't looked pretty. I think their only convincing win was against the Bucks, week 3. Despite that, they've had some really close calls. 20-25 against uh, New England. They won in overtime against the Commanders by 3. So I mean, they haven't played great football all season, and it caught up to him this week.
Yeah, they should be blowing these teams out. They should have really blew the Jets out. I mean, hell, they didn't have
Sauce or Reed didn't
Sauce.
play.
Yeah,
The
they
two
should
best
really
corners didn't play.
they should have really did a lot more than they actually did.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, their schedule's only going to get tougher from here. They've got Dallas. They still have to play twice. They play Miami next. Then they've got the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Niners all back to back to back. Those are 3 straight games with really good teams. That's a gauntlet. I mean, they could easily lose those 3, or they could easily win those 3. There's no telling. But I mean, they're going to have to play better. If they play any of those teams that I mentioned like this, they will not win many of them at all.
Nope.
Speaking of one of those teams, the 49ers were handed their first loss of the season to the Cleveland Browns. Final score was 17-19. Their rookie kicker missed a game-winning field goal with 6 seconds left on the clock. Browns came out, took a knee, game was over. What was it? McCaffrey went out with an oblique rib injury, and then
Debo went out with a shoulder, I think.
Debo went out with a shoulder injury. So I mean, you've got your 2 best players on offense. Trent Williams went out with an ankle, but came back and finished the game out. But that's still questionable. I mean, that's your best offensive lineman and your 2 best playmakers that you no longer have as targets.
And it comes down, it just made Brock Purdy look like
Pedestrian.
yeah, I mean, unless you have McCaffrey or Debo, he's just an average quarterback.
I mean, George Kittle was nowhere to be found. He had 1 target for 1 yard. I was looking for him the whole game, couldn't find him. Mm-hmm. Brandon Ayuk was pretty much the only offensive person they can go to that was making some kind of plays. He had 4 targets or 4 receptions for 76 yards.
Yeah, and that just shows how much McCaffrey and Debo carry that team on their shoulders. Mm-hmm. That's literally what it shows. It's not the Brock Purdy show. It's McCaffrey and Debo's show.
Yep. I totally agree. It was I think this is a wake-up call for the Niners. Without their 2 explosive players on offense, Brock Purdy can't carry the team. So they're probably going to take these next few weeks and these injuries with those 2 players very heavily. They got to be very careful with them because if they lose them for more than 1 week, that's bad.
And the issue, if they're out for more than 1 week, they might be in trouble. They already showed they can't play with them.
That opens the door for Dallas, Detroit, any of these other teams that are fighting to win their division if they're not currently. For that and the number 1 seed.
They're out a couple weeks. I mean, Seattle could catch them.
Oh, definitely. Easily. The Rams won this week as well, so the Rams are still in it. I mean,
yeah. So they better be careful.
Very, very careful. They have another away game this week. They go to Minnesota. That's not gonna be really that easy if they don't have Debo or McCaffrey starting. I mean, I wouldn't if they're not 100%. I don't play them. Period. Because you're risking them getting hurt further into the year, where the games are gonna matter the most. And if they don't have the 1 seed, They could be they're a deadly wild card team, but the one seed is everything now. Now that only one team gets the bye week, like that's crucial, especially if you have injuries, you want that extra rest.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Lions, they are 5-1. They traveled to Tampa and pretty much handled business. No turnovers, 120-6 pretty handedly. Um, I think this is probably the most consistent team outside of the Niners, despite how they played yesterday or Sunday. Um, but the Lions are pretty much already in midseason form.
Lions are looking amazing.
They haven't really had a bad game. Their only loss came in overtime to Seattle. Um, I think Goff is probably going to keep playing his way into the MVP discussion if he keeps
Yeah,
playing the way that he has.
He's playing really good. They're playing a really good all around.
Very good. I'd say the only thing that they struggled with yesterday was their run game. They had 10. Their rushing leader was 10 carries for 15 yards. I don't think their rookie started yesterday either. So he comes back. I'm expecting next week, if they're not on a bye week, I'm not sure. I'm expecting their rookie to have a better rushing performance than Reynolds did. So we'll see if they can keep climbing. But this Lions team is dangerous. And a lot of teams don't want to face them in the playoffs if they can stay on this hot streak that they're kind of really haven't lost since week 1, despite losing week 2.
Like I said, I think they're going to win their division.
Oh,
proven every week.
I mean, they've pretty much got that on lock, unless something miraculous happens with Minnesota or Green Bay. That's their division. It's hands down their division.
These other teams keep slipping up. They could win. They could get that home field.
Hands down. And that brings us. I mean, the Eagles have a tough schedule. The Niners are facing some key offensive injuries. That opens the door for Dallas. Detroit. I mean, Detroit's already there because they share the same record. So
I think Detroit's playing the most consistent.
Yes.
They're
Sundays,
not having a week. They're not having a week where they're going crazy and then barely. They're playing consistent every single week. They're playing just as good every week,
despite the outcome.
They're playing good football all the way around.
The Niners started the year scoring 30 points in every single game, and then they come into this game and they don't put up 20. So I would agree with you on saying that the Lions are the most consistent because they have been. Despite them having the same record, their game against the Browns is what killed all their momentum.
Yep.
All of it. I think that put them right back down to reality.
Yep. Made them.
That
y'all
y'all aren't
now.
Yeah, y'all aren't untouchable. Y'all can be beaten. Y'all been beaten plenty of times before. And it's just a matter of time before you get beat once, before somebody else beats you. They might beat you again. There's no telling.
But now all these teams have tape to look at to see what stops them.
Exactly. What do you need to do to make Purdy look pedestrian like he did against the Browns?
Yep.
If you shut down McCaffrey, even if they're healthy or whatnot and they're playing, and you can slow those two players down, I mean, that's essentially, if you take them out of the ball game as they're playing, like they're playing, but they're not a factor, we've seen what the results are because, granted, they didn't play in these games because they were hurt, but locking somebody down is essentially that, them not playing.
Mm-hmm.
So if Kittle can't get open, if Ayuk can't get in the end zone, they're going to struggle. And it's only going to get harder as the season progresses because the games are going to mean more to each team. And a lot more is going to be at stake. Playoff seeding, if you're going to win your division, so on and so forth. All right, let's talk about our last game of week 6. The Bills escape defeat Against the Giants, they struggled all game. Didn't take a lead until the fourth quarter. They win 14-9. Some questionable calls by the ref at the end, but overall, I blame the coaching staff on their clock management. You don't go into the half with 2 timeouts and you're on the goal line. Like, that's just stupid. You got to score there. You have to score there.
I think the Giants look better with Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah. Taylor he was more consistent. He didn't throw any picks. Barkley had a good game. They
even when the rush
stuck
was
to
coming,
Barkley.
He didn't just let the rush get him. He'd move and get out the way.
Right. I think that's the thing with Daniel Jones. When their run game isn't a factor, he starts to panic way too early. And then on top of that, their coaching staff sees him panic, so they stay away from the run, which doesn't make any sense. This entire game, Barkley didn't have a great game. He really didn't break any runs until the last quarter.
Yeah.
So they bottled him up most of the game, but they stuck with it. They continue to grind it out with Barkley. He had 24 carries for 93 yards.
Yeah, they Tyrod just, I mean, I wish he would have done a little more. He could have probably done a little more. I mean, granted, it's his first start in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But if he starts again,
they'll build off of what they did against the Bills. They'll probably give him more of the playbook that he can run and stuff like that. I mean, you've got to design plays for Tyrod. You can't give him Daniel Jones's playbook.
And they better be scared. Daniel Jones should be scared because Tyrod Taylor didn't look like a backup.
Right. I mean, Daniel Jones. Right. I will say this: Daniel Jones has a bigger arm. He can throw the ball further than Taylor, but Taylor is a little bit more accurate with his throws, and he has better legs.
And he's better at extending the play.
Yeah.
He can extend the play.
Even though Jones is mobile, but I mean, every time Jones runs, he gets hurt.
Yeah.
Taylor's
also
he's smart.
When Jones is on the move, he's not on the move he's just on the move to not sack. Tyrod Taylor keeps his eyes down the field. He tries to still move that ball.
Yeah. I could agree with that. I wasn't impressed with how the Bills played.
I wasn't either.
They played terrible. I mean, Diggs did what he normally does. You need Josh Allen to do more than what he did. Their run game was subpar. It was better than how they lost in London or whatever. They were coming off a loss, so they at least played better in their run game, but still overall not really impressed. They have to face Miami again, and it's just going to get harder as the season gets along. Going to get colder in Buffalo. So they're going to have to start being more consistent because Miami is going to start to catch fire again or remain where they're at in their division. And I don't see Buffalo getting really far if they're a wild card team. It's going to be hard with them playing inconsistent the way that they have.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Babs. That wraps up our week 6 games. We'll run through an injury report update real quick. We know Justin Jefferson's still out with his hamstring. Josh Allen is questionable this week with his shoulder. Miles Sanders is out. Justin Fields is doubtful with his thumb. CJ Gardner-Johnson is on IR. Buda Baker and James Conner are both put on IR. Kyler Murray is still out with his knee. T. Higgins is questionable, but they have a bye week this week, so he'll most likely play week 8. Deshaun Watson is questionable coming into week 7, so we'll take a look at that. Leighton Vander Esch is on IR. He was put on IR, I believe, Saturday. Aaron Jones, he is listed out as well going into this week. I'm not sure. I think they had a bye week this week. So we'll keep an eye on that. He might be pulled into questionable or doubtful. We'll see what they do with him. And Anthony Richardson is still on IR. He was put on IR because they're looking at maybe having season-ending surgery on his shoulder. Um, that's disappointing.
That's a
He's like
pain. That is because he's playing really good.
he's the only rookie on the list, really, as notable players.
I think he could have had a really good season.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
I don't know. I think Ryan Tannehill will be out this week as well.
You think Tannehill's gonna be out? What happened to him?
No, he got hurt. He got hurt and he got pulled out.
He got hurt.
I haven't seen anything about it.
Wonder what
I haven't seen any reports. It was his shoulder.
Shoulder?
It was his shoulder.
Interesting. We'll have to take a look at that. We'll have to keep our eyes out to see if they have any updates on him. All right. Well, that goes really the notable players. We'll add Tannehill to that. I totally forgot that he was hurt. They didn't even have it listed on the Tennessee's injury report. So
he went out with his shoulder. Malik Wilson finished the game.
Yeah, I remember Malik Willis finishing the game. I just didn't see it on the injury report because I went through all of it. I skimmed through it and I didn't see. I might have skimmed past it. Probably. There's no telling. All right, we will step away from that and we will go on to our power rankings. The top 10 teams. I disagree with quite a few things on this list. We'll go ahead and start with the top remaining there where they are, which I definitely disagree with. The 49ers.
Yeah, they should have dropped.
They should have dropped. Every other team that lost this week that was in the top 10 either fell out of it or dropped some. So I don't understand how they're giving the Niners a pass. If they're giving them a pass because they have injuries, teams deal with injuries all the time, and injuries shouldn't determine their power rankings. They were held to 17 points, missed a field goal at the very end. They're not the top team anymore.
They definitely should have dropped probably to number 3.
Yeah. Don't agree with that. Moving up to number 2, they were ranked 3rd last week, are the Chiefs. I'm fine with that.
They should definitely be in 1, though.
I don't know if the Chiefs should be number 1.
They should be ahead of the Niners.
Definitely. The Chiefs and this next team should be ahead of the Niners. Maybe even another team. We'll get down to that. Coming in at 3rd, they were ranked 4th last week, the Dolphins. Yeah, I think the Chiefs can stay where they're at, move the Dolphins to 1, move the Niners to 3.
Yeah.
And I could do that. All right. The other team, NFC team that lost this week, Philly, they are 4th. They were ranked 2nd last week. I'm fine with them coming down here. I wouldn't have been surprised if they fell to 5th.
Yeah, I could see the Lions being above them.
Yeah. Me personally, as we'll go ahead, the Lions are ranked 5th in the power rankings this week. I think the Lions I think it should be Dolphins, Chiefs, Lions, Niners, Philly.
Yeah.
I think the Lions need to be over Philly and the Niners because they've played the most consistent, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't understand how they win their game convincingly and stay at 5, and how the Niners lose and they don't move either. I don't get that. I don't get it. Coming in at 6, they probably should have dropped the Bills. They barely beat the Giants. They shouldn't have stayed here. They should have dropped to like 8 or 9, in my opinion, because you barely beat the 1-4 New York Giants, a team that their only win came off of a miraculous second half against a 1-5 Cardinals. So. Staying put where they were last week as well, the Cowboys ranked 7. I think the Cowboys should probably would move up to 6. I wouldn't have them over Philly or the Niners, of course, but
them and the Bills should be switched.
Yeah, definitely. The Browns made it into the top 10. They're 8. They were ranked 12th last week. That's deserving. See, the Browns moved into the top 10. because they beat the Niners, but the Niners don't drop at all for taking a loss to a team that wasn't even in the top 10. So I understand their thought process on that. Coming in to the top 10 this week as well, the Ravens. Probably,
the Ravens.
I could see them at 10, honestly. Swap them and the Jags. The Jags have played consistent in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, they should be, if they're going to be in there, be 10.
Right. They were ranked 11th last week, so they had them moving up 2 spots. They
shouldn't move that high, being the Titans. The Titans came into the week 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't beat a good team.
Nah. And rounding up the top 10 is, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They didn't move, but
I think they
should have. They should have.
9.
You probably could have the Jags. You could probably 9. I don't think they're better than the Browns, so yeah, I'd put them at 9. All right, that wraps up the power rankings. We can go ahead and talk about how this week's picks ended.
All right, guys, this week, Freak got lucky. He beat me by 1. I
we
went
did
8
it,
and 7.
team. We
went
did
8
it.
and 7. He went 9 and 6. I'm still up 58 and 35 for the season. He's only 52 and 41.
I'm only down by 6 games though, and it's a long season. So
and I don't know. I picked some weird teams this week, so it's either gonna hurt me or I'm gonna pull way ahead.
Shit.
So we will see.
Yeah, we will definitely see.
This week could either hurt me or fucking just pull me, just blast me out of.
But I got you this week, so gotcha, bitch. Hell yeah.
He's 1 for 6, guys.
So
beat me 1 week out of 6.
Oh, a dub is a dub.
That's what the Giants said too.
Yep, sure did. Sure the fuck did. All right. Now we can go into our week.
You know who else said that? The Cardinals.
Yeah. How was that Houston game, bud?
Hey,
Thought so.
Houston's 3 and 3.
I don't care.
All right, let's get into this week's picks.
Yeah, let's get into these. All these subtle jabs we're throwing at each other. All right. Thursday night. Jacksonville travels to New Orleans. Take on the Saints. I like Jacksonville. Give me Duval for this one.
I think Jags take that one.
The Saints haven't really looked that great. And I have them winning their division, and I regret it.
They're looking mid-tier. Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I think the Bucks are most likely going to win that division, the way that it looks. I mean, right now they're tied 3 and 3, so we'll see. All right. So we both got the Jags. All right.
The Jags.
All right. Starting our afternoon slate, the noon and 1 o'clock games, wherever you're located. Cleveland travels to Indianapolis.
I got the Browns.
Yeah, I like the Browns in this one. I don't know if Deshaun is going to play, but I like the Browns' defense. Their defense is just nasty. Yeah, so give me the Browns. The next game, Buffalo travels to New England. This is a divisional matchup. New England has looked terrible.
Yep, so I went
terrible.
Bills.
I'm going to go Bills too. The Bills can't play like they did against New York. They cannot play like they did against New York because the Patriots always play their best games against divisional opponents, especially the last few seasons. So, cannot play terrible, but give me the Bills. We got another divisional matchup in the next game. The Commanders travel to MetLife Stadium, take on the miserable New York Giants. Give me the Commanders here. Dun, 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 dun.
I took the Giants. I think Tyrod Taylor starts again, and I think they beat him.
It's possible, but give me the Commanders. The Commanders looked really good against Atlanta last week. Howell played great. So give me the Washington Commanders. Give me the Commanders.
Game for me.
We will see, buddy. Next game. You got Detroit travels to Baltimore. This is going to be a good matchup, but give me them Lions.
Yep, I took the Lions too.
Give me the
Fuck the Ravens.
Lions.
Fuck the Ravens.
Fuck them damn purple birds. Next game. Las Vegas Raiders travel to the Bears.
I think this one's kind of a no-brainer.
Give me the Raiders.
Yep.
Last game of the noon at 1 o'clock games or wherever you're at. Atlanta travels to Tampa. Another divisional matchup game. Got a lot of divisional matchups this week.
I think the Bucks take this.
Yeah, give me the Bucks as well. Give me them Buccaneers. Oh, I was wrong. The Bucks aren't 3-3. They're 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Tampa. I'm sorry.
They had a bye week.
That's right. They did.
Mm-hmm.
All
I knew
right.
it, Tampa.
All right. Now we're going to start our 3 o'clock games. The first one of the 3:05 games, or wherever you're at. Pittsburgh travels to SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles.
You already know I'm going Steelers.
Or Inglewood, if you want to get specific. The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Rams. This one had a toss-up. The Steelers,
Rams are down to their third string running back. Both
they are,
their
but
top two. One of their starting quarterbacks just got arrested for a gun charge.
Corner or defensive lineman?
I think it was just one of the corners.
I don't know. This one's going to be a tough one because Canada's still there. Great, give the Steelers credit. There have been rumors that they have talking to somebody. Brian Leftwich, John Gruden. You already know how I feel about John Gruden. I think Leftwich is the answer.
If we got Leftwich,
he's the best. He's the best fit for Pickett. John Gruden will hurt Kenny Pickett's career. I don't like John Gruden. That's all I'm going to say about that. Kareem Williams, he is questionable for this game, but he played well last week in their game.
He's questionable, and so is their second string.
So I don't know. This one's a toss up to me. Yeah, give me them Rams.
Oh shit! I'm definitely pulling ahead this week. Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Give me the Rams. I think this is going to be the week that they fire Canada because he can't get it done. Canada's play calling is going to be the downfall of y'all this week.
If they didn't fire him this week, they're not going to fire him mid-season. They're going to wait till the end of the season.
I don't think they should.
I'm calling it. I'm just calling it. It's the Steelers. They don't like firing people.
Yeah, I know. All right. Our second 3:05 game is another divisional matchup. Arizona travels to Seattle. I think this is pretty much easy for both of us. Give me the Hawks.
I went Cardinals.
You went Cardinals. Interesting.
Seahawks are, I don't know.
I'm going to catch up to you this week.
They're playing
so
inconsistent
much
right now. They're playing
I'm going to catch up to you so much.
Nah, I don't think so.
All right. The late afternoon games. Green Bay travels to Denver. Who do you got?
I got the Packers.
You got the Packers? Yeah, give me the Pack as well. I think they're coming off of a bye week. They didn't play this week, so they should be rested. Yeah, give me the Green Bay Packers. All right. And the last late afternoon game, the Chargers, another divisional matchup. Chargers coming off that 3-point loss to the Dallas Cowboys, travel to Arrowhead Stadium to face on the defending champs, Kansas City Chiefs.
I went Chiefs.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs here. I think this game could be close, come down to the end, but I like Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, me too.
All right, now on to Sunday night. Probably going to be one of the most watched games all week.
It's going to be a good game.
Miami 5-1 Dolphins travel to Lincoln Financial Field and face on the Philadelphia Eagles, who are also 5-1. Philly's probably coming off of their worst loss of the season, and Miami has once again put up 40 points. So give me the Dolphins. I think the struggles. I think the struggles continue for Philly. I don't think their defense is going to be able to slow down Hill or Waddle.
Yeah, I think Dolphins are going to put up more points than the end of the day.
Achane is going to be back this week, so they're going to have
Mostert still ran pretty good.
They're going to have Mostert, Achane, Waddle, Hill. It's going to be a long night for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be a close. I don't think it's going to be a shootout or a blowout. It'll be a close match. But give me the Dolphins. And then to wrap, to wrap up Week 7, primetime Monday Night Football, the San Francisco 49ers travel to US Bank Stadium in Minnesota, take on the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Niners.
I got the Vikings.
You got the Vikings? You think the Vikings?
I think Debo and McCaffrey, one of them miss, if not both. And the Vikings just make Brock Purdy look like their bitch.
That is an interesting take. Yeah, give me the Vikings. I like that. Yep, give me the Vikings. I totally forgot about them too.
I shouldn't have said nothing. I should have took the easy dub.
Ooh, I escaped that one.
A couple more games.
Nah, I'm gonna catch back up to you this week, bud.
Giants.
I'm gonna catch back up to you.
Surprise everybody this week.
Nah.
Got it locked in. I already saved it. You can't change your mind.
I'm not changing my mind because Washington and Seattle are gonna handle business.
I already saved it.
And I'm gonna win another week, and I'm gonna catch up to you, and this competition is gonna be closer than you wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
We damn sure will, buckaroo. All right, people. That concludes this week's episode. We had some technical difficulties. This episode was a lot shorter.
Somebody forgot to record my entire voice the first time we recorded this podcast. So this is the second run.
We had to redo an entire segment that took us 30 minutes, and we wrapped this episode up in 37. So if that's not time management.
We appreciate y'all for listening.
We really do. We really do appreciate all the people that watch.
Yeah, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, ring the bell, share it.
Follow us on X,
all that.
Formerly known as Twitter. It'll be in our description at 2GuysPC. We still are going to keep reminding you we have some stuff coming up very, very soon. If you haven't figured it out yet, shame on you, because it's wide open. It's pretty much right in your face. But thanks again. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next week.
Later.
Later.